Hey guys, Frightener22 here, and welcome to my February 5th DVD update. It's been just a day shy of a month since my last DVD update, so I'm going to show you guys all the Blu-rays and DVDs I've gotten since then, so let's jump right into this. But right before that, my last DVD update, I know that I was kind of experimenting with, the new extended time frame that I had been granted on YouTube, so the video was like 51 minutes long, and some people liked that it was all, compacted into one long video. Other people still had left me comments saying that I should have broken the video up, although I'm not really sure if I see the point in doing that, because it's like, getting the extended timeline on YouTube is kind of like the thing that most people have been longing for, so that they don't have to separate their videos into like 3 or more parts. But I can understand why some people want to do that, because they may want to watch my DVD updates or videos in like small quantities. So I'm going to try and keep this video down to at least like a normal like 20 to 25 minute time frame. If it goes over that, then yes, I will go into a part 2. So enough of that. I just wanted to let that, get that out of the way before I get into this. So enough of the babbling. Let's get into this February 5th DVD update. The first one I got is the Blu-ray of the Oscar-nominated film, David Fincher's latest film, The Social Network. I am not on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I think that it's been like the total communication breakdown of this generation. Like, people are just friggin' stupid about it. People don't know how to relate with each other. They don't know how to pick up a phone and just converse with one another. They need to leave comments on people's walls or text messaging. So I've been really, really against the whole Facebook phenomenon. But when this, kind of came to fruition, I was like, wow, David Fincher's attached to it. I was like, why the hell would he be interested in a Facebook movie? I couldn't get my head around it for months and months, and then finally, when I saw the preview, I was like, wow, that's like some pretty heavy stuff. So, needless to say, once I did see the movie theatrically, I fell in love with it. This is hands down one of my favorite films of the year. It's really, really awesome. Like I said, I had seen it in movies, so I didn't really jump into rewatching it since I bought it on Blu-ray, but what I did watch is the feature-length documentary, the 4-part documentary, How Did They Ever Make a Movie of Facebook? And it's a really, really in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the making of The Social Network, what went into, the casting, the costumes, like table sit-downs and stuff. It's like at least a 90-minute documentary, and it's incredibly interesting. So if you really, if you really dig David Fincher or this film, or just like the making of films in general, that's a documentary that needs to be checked out. But this is certainly a film that shouldn't be missed, because it really was, something that I didn't expect. The next is a whole slew of Code Red titles, because I managed to complete all the Code Red titles up to what they have released, although just recently they had their latest title, God's Bloody Acre, got recalled, and it's like fetching like over $100 or more on eBay already, so I missed out on that and I couldn't find it. But I know one of my friends actually managed to snag one, and a few people, a small amount of people have been able to find it, so that's one that kind of slipped through the cracks. I just hope that the next title released next week actually, corrects the spine numbers on all these releases, and doesn't really, consider the recalled God's Bloody Acre part of the, the collection, because it's not really fair to everyone that's been collecting. So, the last bunch that I got was, the first one is the Fred Williamson Signature Collection Volume 1, and this is Mean Johnny Barrows. This is apparently, the uncut director's edition of this film. Fred Williamson directed this one, and there's a bunch of special features on it. These Code Red titles that I haven't gotten to, but yeah, I mean, it's an early Saturday morning, and I have the day off, so I'll be cutting into a lot of the stuff that I just recently bought. The next one is the Fred Williamson Signature Collection Volume 2, and it's another one of his films, Death Journey. Yeah, both these are like blaxploitation films, if you couldn't figure that one out. This one, again, was directed by Fred Williamson, and this is like his uncut, version of it. So yeah, these, I'm not really into blaxploitation, but then again, I haven't really seen a lot of the good ones, so, I hope that I'm pleasantly surprised with these. I mean, I buy anything Code Red DVD related. The next one sounds interesting. It stars Philip Michael Thomas, who played Tubbs on the original Miami Vice show, and this one's called Stigma. It seems pretty cool. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I've been reading, and it, based on what I had read about it and just the cover art and what who's in, it seems like it could be a pretty interesting watch. The next one I'd actually heard that it's not good at all, really. It's like a real, like, British comedy, and I'm not really a lover of British comedy so much, so I don't really expect myself to really enjoy this so much, but I guess we'll find out. But this is actually the 29th spined release from Code Red, and this one's called The Statue. I like that cover art. I really dig it. It's very 70s and stuff. So once I get around to this, I mean, I'm curious because I've just been reading on a lot of forums. This one is just not very good at all and very unfunny and boring. So I just hope that I'll be pleasantly surprised with this one too. The next one is their 31st spined release, and this is the 40th anniversary edition of a Western called A Long Ride from Hell. Really cool cover art, and Westerns are another genre of mine that I've never been the biggest fan of. There are some that I do like, but it's a genre that I don't really jump, to the theaters or, to rent stuff to, really watch. But, like I said, this is a Code Red title, and I've actually heard that this one is really damn good, so I'll actually be curious about that one. The next one is that one that I think I'm going to be getting to sooner rather than later out of the Code Reds that I just got. It's cool. It's got that very, like, Animal House, Rock and Roll High School type poster art, and it's called Gosh, It's Me, Alice Goodbody. It's cool. It seems to be about a girl that's trying to make it in Hollywood, and just, like, hilarity ensues on her whole journey to becoming that. Kind of reminded me of, like, Hollywood Boulevard and stuff, but, yeah, this is definitely a film that seems really up my alley, so I think out of, like, the recent Code Red bunch, this is the one that I'm probably going to go to first. And the final Code Red one that I have, well, there's another one, but it's going to come a little bit later because I just show you guys what I've gotten in the order on which I've purchased them. So the next one I've got is, it's a Joe Spinell film. It's the first time it's on home video because this was a film that he was apparently making right up until his death. So it's basically like an incomplete film. So, I'm sure it's not really going to play that well as a film, but this is called The Undertaker. And, Joe Spinell's really cool, and I'm sure that if he would have survived, then maybe this movie would be decent, but I just kind of heard mediocre things about it because it's just remaining footage of a film that could have been, but he passed away before it really got completed. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's definitely a gem to kind of own, but, yeah, I can't imagine it being particularly amazing. The next one is a Blu Ray that I got pretty cheap for like less than $10. It's one of my favorite fantasy films from the 80s. It's 1984's The Neverending Story. The transfer on this is supposed to be really, really great. The only thing that sucks incredibly, and even the director, Wolfgang Peterson, said that, Warner Bros. Doesn't even call him to, like, oversee the Blu-ray transfer or to partake in special features, which bummed him out. They didn't even give him, like, a courtesy copy of the Blu-ray. He apparently said in an interview that he had to send his assistant to go out to a store and buy the Blu-ray for him, which is kind of shitty because The Neverending Story is a really great film from the 80s, and it deserves, I mean, although the transfer is supposed to be pretty damn good, it definitely deserves a little bit better. I mean, there is nothing on here, not even a trailer, so I kind of hate that when films, especially classic films, finally make the leap to the Blu-ray and they're bare bones. Because, The Neverending Story has never really gotten a great special edition treatment, especially on previous DVD releases, so I thought this was definitely the time for them to kind of really make up for that, but they obviously didn't, so it's a damn shame. The next two are from my favorite line right now, the Roger Corman's Cult Classic lines, courtesy from Shout, and the first one is a triple feature of sci-fi classics that Roger Corman himself directed, and it is Attack of the Crab Monsters, War of the Satellites, and the original Not of This Earth. These seem to be a lot of fun. I have seen the remake of Not of This Earth, but, I love old sci-fi, but I just seem to not have seen many of the good ones, so these are some really, really quintessential ones to really get started on in the genre. There's a ton of really fun special features, one called A Salute to Roger Corman, featuring a bunch of new interviews with Corman, Peter Fonda, Peter Bogdanovich, Joe Dante, and tons more. There's audio commentaries on this, a whole Roger Corman trailer collection showcasing 25 trailers that Corman either directed or produced. So this is definitely a really fun set to pick up from that lineup. The next one is a double feature that plenty of people have been complaining that is just god-awful, but I'm going to give it, you know, an open chance because I really, really like sea monster movies. So it's a double feature of Up from the Depths and Demon of Paradise. I mean, when people... Hearing the reviews is just so terrible to hear because, I mean, look at that poster, and it just seems like it's going to be such a good time, but then again, wasn't the Corman, like, the man of just making you think that you were getting, like, a real gem every single time? But like I said, you know, from what I've heard, both these films are really nothing special to write home about, but I can't really talk about them yet because I haven't gotten the chance to pop any of them in because I've been I've been catching up on the other Corman titles I have in the collection, so I'm basically up to speed now on these, so hopefully I'll get around to watching these this weekend, but yeah, I hope that these are a little bit better than what I've been hearing. The next one is the most recent Code Red release up until this point. They have a new release, Group Marriage, coming out next Tuesday, but this is the most recent one. And this one is the Black Klansman. This looks really, really cool. It's from the late 60s, and it's apparently, I think it's about like a black guy that knows that his brother, I think, has been killed by the KKK, so he tries to go undercover as a KKK member to kind of sniff out his brother's murders, from what I understand. So, or no, it's not his brother, I think it's his daughter. So, apparently this film was really controversial when it came out, and I'm really excited for it. I mean, I've been reading about this for a while before it actually debuted, so this one seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. The next few, actually, I got were picked up from my local FYE that just went out of business. Now, that place has always been incredibly, incredibly overpriced, but there was, like, nothing left in the store. I mean, they were getting rid of everything. So, a lot of things were, like, 60 to 80% off, so I got a bunch of stuff. The first one I got was actually a real gem to find, because I think it's kind of, you know, walking on the out-of-print line. You can still manage to pick it up, but it's definitely technically out of print. But I picked this up for $11, and it's the Ultimate Edition of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Blu Ray. I've just always had, for the longest time, I've had an older DVD version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I figured, you know, for $11 now is my time to pick up, you know, this classic flick and, like, the best, you know, possible version that they had available. So I'm really happy to have this, especially at that low price. The next one I got was actually a real fun find because I had been reading about this, and it's part of the MGM Midnight Movies line, which they've, you know, more or less discontinued in the last few years. But this was a double feature set that I'd been on the hunt for. You know, I've been planning on ordering it for a while, but then I saw it in the store, and I got this for like $2 brand new. And it's the double feature of What's the Matter with Helen and Whoever Slew Annie Rue. These seem like really fun. They seem like really twisted-esque, like Mary Poppins kind of like wicked nanny looking over children movies. So it seems really cool and very disturbing. So I've actually heard that this double feature set is a lot of fun. A lot of people have raved that they're really, really fun films. So this might be a fun thing to pop on like a, you know, a Sunday afternoon or something. But yeah, I'm excited to get this for $2. There was no way I could pass that up. Next one I think I got for like $6, and I hadn't seen this yet. I'm a huge, huge, gigantic fan of the original. I actually managed to just snag an original poster of the first film, but this is the sequel, Night of the Demons 2, and this is actually directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, who directed such films as Stunt Rock, Leprechaun 4, Dead End Drive-In. He's done a lot of films, but the sequel to Night of the Demons I've just never checked out, so they still had this in stock when I went to FYE, so I had to add it into the collection. Next one I got was a double feature of two films that I've always wanted to see, and I did manage to watch the original a few days ago, and I thought it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's a double feature set of Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. Like I said, the first one I had a lot of fun with. Ghoulies 2 I'm going to be really looking forward to checking out. From what I understand, I think they made 3. I think Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College and stuff, and from what I've heard, I think Synapse Films may be releasing that in the near future. Don't quote me on that, but I could have swore I remember reading that not too long ago. But yeah, this was a cool double feature. I had always wanted to check these films out, so for the low price, I think I got it again for like $6 or $8 brand new. I wanted to add it into the collection, so there it is now. The next one I got was, you know, a classic classic 80s film that I had just never seen yet. So I picked it up and I watched it the same night that I got it, and I fell in love with it. It was awesome. This is the collector's edition of Red Dawn. This film is so friggin' cool, man. I loved everything about it, and the cast particularly was really awesome. I mean, you have Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Charlie Sheen, and Jennifer Grey. I mean, that's like a quintessential 80s cast if I've ever seen one. I mean, now that I've seen this, you know, amongst all the other films that I've seen, this is definitely one of the best, you know, compilation of 80s actors in one film from that decade. So this is a really, really kick-ass film. A remake is in the can, but due to MGM's you know, recent financial issues, it's been held back for quite a while, but it is coming. So I'll be looking forward to seeing how that turns up. But you gotta check out the original. It's a quintessential 80s flick. And the next one that I got this for like $2, mainly because, you know, I'm a huge Michael J. Fox fan, so I wanted to check this one out, and I just had picked up a book called Destroy All Movies, and it's a whole reference book discussing about every single film that ever, like, had a punk in it, and I mean anywhere, like in the background of a scene, just in the slightest, even if they're in the movie for like 3 seconds, and if these people spot it, it's in this book. And I'm pretty sure that this is where I read about it, but not only for the whole punk aspect, just as a film, they kind of, you know, said this was a really good one. And it's got Michael J. Fox, Kiefer Sutherland, Phoebe Cates, and Diane Wiest. And this is Bright Lights, Big City. It seems really cool. You know, like I said, I love Michael J. Fox. These actors seem really fun. And just based on what I read about it, this seems like it's going to be a really interesting 80s film. So, yeah, I mean, it's got Michael J. Fox. He's one of my favorites, so I had to add another Fox film to my collection. The next one I was really happy. I actually went back on the, you know, I got all those ones 2 days before FYE closed down, and then I drove back the day that they were going to close down, and I had to pick this one up because I remember seeing it there and I regretted not picking it up. So I went back and I got this for like $11. And, you know, since it is Saturday and it's still pretty early, I'll probably be checking this out tonight, or, you know, today. And this is, Warner Brothers put this out. They put out 2 volumes of 1970s related ones, but this is the only one that they've ever put out for the 1980s. And this is the Saturday morning cartoons of the 1980s. It's a 2-disc set of a lot more obscure 80s cartoons, such as Mr. T, the Quickie Koala Show, the Flintstones Kids, I believe, yeah, Dragon's Lair, Galtar and the Golden Lance, yeah, just like a lot of really, you know, obscure, kind of, you know, not very well-known 80s cartoons. So I figured this was a really cool thing to buy, you know, at a really low, cheap price, and I'm an 80s nut, so I was like, this is just a cool time capsule of a bygone era, so who knows if Warner Brothers is going to put out another volume of this, but this definitely seems like a cool thing, especially if you never see any of these cartoons get any kind of, like, season-esque release, so this is a cool thing to pick up for that reason alone. The next one I got was it's a Blu Ray DVD combo pack of a film that was, you know, believed to have been lost for many, many years, and it is Carnival Magic. I just had picked this up really recently, so I haven't had time to check this one out yet, but I've heard that it's balls crazy. I mean, it's just totally wacky and insane. So, yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to checking this one out. I had read a lot of good stuff about it in that Destroy All Movies book as well. But, yeah, this just seems really cool. I like, you know, I really get a kick out of movies that kind of have the circus or carnival backdrop in the film. So this seems like a really oddball one. Look it up and, you know, research what this is about. The next few I'm actually really excited to talk about because it's their TV seasons, which is something that I've kind of, you know, not really put a lot of money into or, you know, felt like picking up in the last few months, but I'm happy to say that I've actually found like a really renewed interest in adding more television shows to my, you know, huge television box set collection. But these are really good ones, and I love supporting Shout, so these are all Shout titles, and the first one is, this just came out, and it's the first season of Webster, which debuted in 1983, and it stars Emmanuel Lewis. This is a ton of fun. I've been watching this one. I'm still on the first disc, but I'm like, you know, 6 or 7 episodes in, but this is a great, great show. Like I said, it stars Emmanuel Lewis. He's a young African-American kid. His parents are killed in an accident, and the father's old football buddy wrote that he would be, the guardian if anything ever happened to them. And they're white. The football buddy's white, and he has a white wife. So it's these two white upper class parents bringing up this, little urban boy, and it's so funny. It's a really heartwarming and hilarious show, and I really hope that people really get along around to buying this, because I would love to see this show continue pumping out seasons till all of them are out. It's cool, and an interesting thing to note, one of the last episode that I had watched before I shot this update actually had Heather O'Rourke from it, from Poltergeist. She plays one of Webster's friends, which is really cool to see, because a lot of people know that Heather O'Rourke passed away in the late 80s, around the time she was filming Poltergeist 3. She passed away on the operating table. So this is just another thing to collect if, you're a Heather O'Rourke fan, to own all the stuff that she was a part of. But this is a really, really great television show that I recommend a lot of you guys checking out. The next three are cartoons that I love, and I am just, the first season was split into 3 volumes, and I have all 3 volumes, and then I just need to get season 2, and I'll have all the episodes. So I am talking about G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. This is season 1.1. I got this, and I finished the entire first disc the night that I got it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This show is so good. I love it so much. It's a great, great time. I mean, if you grew up watching G.I. Joe, you're just going to love it so much more now being older. The great thing about that is that these discs, there's like 5 episodes at least on a disc, and the first disc is, called The Mass Device, so it's like 5 episodes telling the same story arc, which is cool, because it's just like, at the end of each, at the beginning of each episode, they give you a recap from the last episode to catch you up, so you never really feel like, oh, if you, go away from the set for a while, and then you come back, and you don't really remember what episode you were on, those little recaps in the beginning are really great, like refresher. So I love when shows do that. The animation is great. Everything is just really fun in this show. So I really recommend getting around to checking these out. Like I said, I got in the whole first season, so this is season 1.2. And finally, which I just got the other day, this is season 1.3, and I just need to get season 2, which comes in one set on its own. And finally, the last 2 I got are, it's a Disney Blu Ray. It's a Disney Blu Ray DVD combo, and this is the 60th anniversary of Alice in Wonderland. I just got these, like, yesterday, so, yeah, I obviously haven't gotten around to checking them out yet, but I've seen screen caps. I've seen Alice in Wonderland before, so it's not like I'm in a giant rush to watch it again, but, yeah, the screen grabs of this seem just incredible. So once I'm in the mood to finally revisit Alice, I'll be going to my trusty Blu-ray now. But yeah, I've just heard that the Blu-ray presentation on this is incredible, which is to be expected from Disney with their Blu-ray release. They just have a really flawless track record with their Blu-ray transfers, and Alice in Wonderland seems like no exception. So definitely check this one out if you're a fan of Disney classics. And the final film I got was one that was a cool Blu-ray release announcement. So I had pre-ordered it months ago because I was like, I really love that movie. I'm sure that's going to, translate really well onto Blu-ray. I haven't seen any reviews of the Blu-ray, so I think I want to check this one out this weekend to see it for myself. And it is Pleasantville. This is the film that stars Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon. Tobey Maguire is like a big lover of 50s television, like Leave It to Beaver type shows, and then Don Knotts plays like a TV repairman that comes to their house, and they get sucked into the classic show that Tobey Maguire loves so much, and it's black and white, and it's just a really, really great and charming film. So if you're a fan of, like, classic television and whatnot, I can't imagine anybody hating this film, because it's a really well-written, really well-conceived story, and the performances are really great. With, in addition to Maguire and Witherspoon, you get Jeff Daniels, William H. Macy, and J.T. Walsh. So this is a really, really great film, so I think I want to check this out maybe even tonight. Well, guys, that wraps up my February 5th DVD update. I want to thank all the, everybody for tuning in, all the subscribers for subscribing. Leave comments, leave your feedback. I really appreciate everybody, and, anytime any of you guys ask me a question, I try to get to you guys as quickly as possible, so Thanks again for tuning in to another DVD update, and I'll see you guys probably in about a month with another one of these videos. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.